As it stands today, VGK has fallen out of a playoff spot. The Golden Knights find themselves currently in fifth place in the Pacific Division, albeit VGK has a game or two in hand. How will the Golden Knights handle adversity? I'm waiting any day now, Chris, for Bruce Cassidy to say, we need to get out of this funk. Our main topic next, right here on Locked On Golden Knights.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yeah, that's right. Funk is the word of the day. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick from Las Vegas. Welcome to Locked On Golden Knights. We are part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network in the world. I am a longtime sportscaster, a marketing consultant, and the host of the Believe in Vegas podcast. Chris is the owner of Silver State Cards and Sports and the host of the Hockey News Collectibles Show, starring the one and only Chris Golick. Coming up ahead on today's show, VGK, are they too top-heavy? And the injury bug has definitely set back the Golden Knights. And a reminder that you can now catch us on the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network. Tune in daily at 1 o'clock p.m., Monday through Friday, to SSSEN on YouTube TV or Cox Cable Channel 77. Today's episode is being brought to you by FanDuel. Download the FanDuel app today by visiting FanDuel.com, and you could win $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. The big story today, VGK has fallen behind 4 teams in the Pacific Division. The Ducks, Kings, Kraken, and even the Sharks. That's right. This morning, the Sharks have more points than the Golden Knights as it stands at the moment. In the West, VGK is in a 4-way tie currently for 9th place overall. If the Golden Knights defeat the Islanders Thursday, they can move up to 2nd place. So not a ton to worry about at this juncture. This is a spot that the Golden Knights, however, are not accustomed to. And this is a team they need to pass now 4 teams, right? If you're VGK, you need to pass, Chris, 4 teams to get to the top of the division. Sometimes that's a little bit hard psychologically to overcome. The question now is, how will VGK handle adversity?
The psychological side is what matters. Yes, it's early in the season. It's 16, 17, 18 games in hand, whatever. The season isn't ending today. We have plenty of time for that. But who is going to be the player? Who are going to be the players outside of the top line? And really, Tomas Hertl-Dorfio has been a little quiet lately. The defense, Caden Korczak is your leading goal scorer. He's your only goal scorer for the defense right now. So where is this team going to find their push from? Now they are out of a playoff spot. I don't know if Cassidy has ever been out of a playoff spot with the Vegas Golden Knights since joining the organization a few years ago. So you wonder how they'll handle this. I mean, sure, it should bring the team together. It's going to lead for opportunities for players like Alex Holtz and Brandon Saad. And I want to say Riley Smith, because I think Riley Smith has better days ahead. He seems to be the one where the process is working properly. He just hasn't found the back of the net yet. So, but still, on the stat sheets, it's not working for Riley Smith at the moment. So is this just a bad luck thing? Is it puck luck? Is it the injuries are not an excuse? They're reality. Like, so many things are in the blender right now as the Golden Knights get ready for possibly their most boring game of the year at the Fortress against the Islanders.
The Avalanche, when you look at them in the West and in the Central, they now have a 25 goal differential. Just 16, 17 games into the season. VGK's goal differential is just 3 when you look at the big picture. The Golden Knights were a team at this juncture in previous seasons under Bruce Cassidy. They were starting to run away. They were banking points at this time of the season.
December, January, February, up until the All-Star break or Four Nations exhibition break or Olympic break, those are all that's been the rough time. It came pretty much in the end of October, which aligns with Mark Stone's injury, and we'll hit the injury bug a little bit harder at the end of the show. But this team trends based on historical data, and not me being a negative Nancy here or a negative Rita here. But this team trends down as the season progresses. It's just how Coach Cassidy's teams go, and then they make a great playoff push. Now it's happening in end of October, early November. As of November the 12th, this is not a playoff team. I would argue farther that this is not a Stanley Cup contending team when one injury has caused just this terrible domino effect.
Right. Just one injury. And it's a crucial one. And it's not also good when you look at what they've done. The schedule maker this year has not been so kind to the Golden Knights as in previous seasons. But after the Islanders game, 5 of the next 6 are on the road. So yesterday, you're talking about troubled waters. They're murky waters perhaps ahead.
Going on the road is definitely the best thing for the Golden Knights right now. I don't care if they're playing the best teams in the National Hockey League. Get out of Dodge. Get out of this game with the Islanders with 2 points. I don't care how they find the path to getting a couple of points here. So what's coming up? Islanders are going to be on Thursday and then going to St. Louis on Saturday, back-to-back against the Wild. Travel day back to Vegas for a game on Tuesday against yours and KT's Rangers. And then back on the road again, going to Utah, Anaheim, back to Utah. Just what the heck is this schedule? This is dumb, but whatever. Okay. So they go Utah on the 20th, Anaheim on the 22nd, Utah on the 24th. I'm not sure how that worked out, but
that's weird.
That's what the schedule
is. I thought
is.
That they were the old Phoenix team so that VGK could get a couple of wins in there quickly.
Yeah, Mammoth are at that team right now. And all the Mammoth are struggling a little bit lately, but again, the schedule, like you said, the schedule is not kind to Vegas. The situation is not kind to Vegas. The injury bug has done their damage on the Golden Knights for yet another season. And I mean, it's actually feels like a VGK season right about now. It's starting to feel pretty VGK around here.
I wonder where the Golden Knights will be at American Thanksgiving. That's the big question, because every year they're right there at the top of the division, hanging on, but they're at the very top or hanging in there at the very least. And a lead this season for the entirety of the season at the top of the Pacific Division is going to be tenuous at best. I just can't see any team right now pulling away. I can't. And Bruce Cassidy doesn't believe in 2 things. Does not believe in carryover from one game to the next.
Yes.
Nor does he believe that he doesn't surely believe that we are seeing parity. He hated that word, parity, in the NHL and in the Pacific. But here we are. Pretty much every team in the Pacific Division, sans Gary, made terrific improvements in the offseason. And that Ducks team still has a ton of loot to play with at the trade deadline. And this is just going to get tighter, I think, as this season progresses. Every point, truly, sounds cliche, is going to matter. Every point's going to matter.
I'm not sure if deviation is the terminology, but your deviation from Vancouver, 17 points, to the division leading Anaheim Ducks, 23 points. You got a 6-point gap from 7th to 1st. And these 4-point games, you only start talking about 4-point games till about January or February.
I talked about it with the Anaheim game the other night.
No, that's the thing. This is definitely something that needs to be brought up a lot earlier in the season because of how close the division is. And if we're going to look at this division really fast, Vancouver, we'll see what happens with them. But we're talking about Vancouver being a middling team. So are the Golden Knights. Vancouver is 1 point behind the Vegas Golden Knights right now. And again, there's a lot of things that are going to happen between now and then. But Edmonton, I don't think, finishes in 6th in the Pacific when the dust settles. Seattle is playing a little above their weight class. They're playing a little bit better than they've been.
They had a good start. Right? I mean, from the
jump. Of course, they had a good start, and now they've slowed down a little bit. The Sharks are a team that we thought was going to be a tougher out, but not necessarily in the top 4 in the division. LA Kings always find a way to get there. Plus, they got the Anze Kopitar retirement tour happening. And then there's VGK in 2nd and Anaheim in 1st, a team we thought that would be a playoff team.
Coming up next, Chris Golick, that's him, With the lack of depth scoring and depth pieces, he's asking, is this the time when we start to question a $12.5 million investment in one star player rather than adding two or more depth pieces? I'll tell you more about it next, right here on Lockdown Golden Knights. When I'm hydrated, everything just seems to work better. My focus, energy, mood, and even my skin. And that's why I've been using DripDrop. It's a doctor-developed hydration that keeps me running on full power no matter how my day looks each and every day, because we're always running around this town, and Chris is definitely busy. We're both a couple of busy dudes. And DripDrop isn't your average sports drink. It delivers 3 times the electrolytes and half of the sugar of leading brands using a science-backed formula trusted by medical professionals, firefighters, and over 90% of the top college and pro teams. I like using DripDrop as part of my daily routine. I'll mix a packet in the morning, and I'll also maybe pick it up there during a midday slump. It actually tastes amazing. My go-to flavor these days is watermelon, and it's become my secret weapon for staying sharp, especially like on this show, and energized through the long, long days. Right now, DripDrop is offering podcast listeners of this show 20% off of your first order. So go to DripDrop.com. Use the promo code LOCKDOWNNHL. That's DripDrop.com. Use the promo code LOCKEDONNHL for 20% off. Stock up now before gets into the time where you need to be hydrated all the time. You still need to be hydrated, folks, PSA, over the winter, and keep your body and mind performing at their best. Use DripDrop. I didn't think I'd be dropping a PSA, Chris, this early in the day.
I don't know what you're going to drop.
I don't know. Welcome back on this edition of Lockdown Golden Knights from Las Vegas. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick. And I think some of the fans on X yesterday got us two mixed up because they said that you were the negative guy suddenly. I don't know what that was all about, because you're the positive force on this show. You're the positive force. Here's a story for you. So I call a hotel the other day, and I asked for someone because I couldn't get connected to their office. So they still went the beeper page way, old school variety. And so they say, may I ask who's calling? And I say, Tony Cardasco. And no, she says, are you sure? Are you sure? I don't know. No idea. I just rolled with it, but I am sure. And he's sure that he's Chris Golick. And he brings a ton of opinions to this show. That's what Chris.
Someone asked if you're a god. The answer is yes.
As we have seen, since Mark Stone went down with that lower body injury on October the 18th, VGK has been mega reliant on its top six, and especially the top line. And in fact, lately, we've noticed that Bruce Cassidy has even been shortening his lineup. He's been rolling just 3 lines. So the other night, Cole Reinhardt, just 9 shifts, skated for 541. Alex Holtz, 745. Keegan Colasar, the star of the third line, skated under 12 minutes on Monday night. So he's shortening his rotation, which I find to be rather odd. I wanted Jack Eichel and Mitch Marner to be on the same line. But even if Marner is on the second line, Chris, it does not help or enhance the bottom 6, or lately the bottom 3, or the bottom 1. It's the bottom 1. I want you to talk about your theory that VGK might have given up some added experience depth by signing Mitch Marner to the mega contract at $12.5 million AAV.
12. I screwed up. It was 12, not 12.5. That was a mistake by me. So 12 million, but keep going.
Okay, we'll give him an extra 5. And do you really believe that VGK could have spread out the money and added the pieces that would have led perhaps to some more or some balanced scoring with this team?
It's easy to say this right now because the bottom 9, basically, or bottom 7.5, probably a better way to say it, hasn't been producing. Riley Smith, if he's a 40-point player, we're not having this conversation. Brandon Saad, if he's playing at a 38-point pace, we're not having this conversation. If Alex Holtz is doing a little bit better on the ice, we're not having this conversation. If Keegan Colasar would figure out his role and stop trying to be a skill player, maybe we're not having this conversation. If the defense had more than 2 goals, and both of them coming from Korczak of all people, we're not having this conversation. So I don't mind McCrimmon taking the swing for Mitch Marner. It's not Mitch Marner that's not working. And again, it's 16 games and nothing isn't working. Let's be clear about this right now. But what's not working is the fact that the bottom depth pieces aren't producing in a manner they were expected to based on historical data. Sure, it's easy to sit here and say now, okay, no Mitch Marner and have, 2 $4 million players and a complementary defensive piece, or better yet, replacing the loss of Alex Pietrangelo instead of Mitch Marner. It's easy to say these things now, but the reality is at the moment, VGK is way too top heavy, but I don't think it's roster composition or salary cap spend that's causing it. It's just the bottom, we'll call it 8.5 players not getting the job done right now.
I looked at the power play time on the ice, and I'm not saying that these players should all be on the power play. Just stay with me for a second. So Ivan Barbashev wasn't out there for a second on the power play, and I think he could be someone that could at times pick up some of the slack that they need to pick up in the absence of Mark Stone.
Marner QB put Barbashev down low with Hurdle. Done.
Not a second on the power play unit, but neither were Keegan Colasar, Brandon Saad, Colton Sissons, not a second on the power play. Just hang with me here for a second.
I'm hanging.
Cole Reinhardt was on the ice for all of 5 seconds, and Riley Smith 20 seconds. So I have to beg the question: could the top 6 eventually? They're playing too many minutes because they're not only playing on that top line and absorbing a ton of minutes, but now they're on the PK, they're on the power play. And I think that those minutes can accumulate later. And maybe they're not utilizing the minutes the right way currently.
So number one, the top power play unit is going to play. Cassidy has definitely changed from his first season with VGK to now, and it's because of the personnel that he has available on that top power play. And the top power play has performed until Mark Stone's injury, of course. You mentioned Reinhardt had 5 seconds of power play time and stuff
5
like
seconds.
that. Stuff
5
like
seconds.
That's going to be for when the penalty is expiring, you get the line set back. If there's 4, 5, 8, 10 seconds left, you just put whatever your reset line is in most cases, which will be the 3rd or 4th line, depending on the
There is no 4th line. What are you talking about?
No, and so looking at overall minutes here, I'm glad you brought that up. So Cole Reinhardt, 9 games, 8:36 of ice time. Colton Sissons, supposed to be a defensive shutdown, face-off machine.
Face-off guy.
PK, whatever.
Right.
10:30 of ice time.
Right.
Colasar, who is irrelevant. I'm sorry. I'm going to very, very blatantly say Colasar is irrelevant right now.
Only when he's relevant when he's on the top line.
Yeah, when he's on the top line. Colasar, for whatever reason, he's laying off hits. He's not finishing hits. He's forgetting that. I'm telling you, it's he thinks he's Willie Mays Hayes in the second major league movie. He thinks he's a power hitter now. The skill guy. He's not. He needs to be a better grinder. He has not been grinding very well. Riley Smith, again, now we're in the 3rd line, 13:30. Brett Howden, who's played on all 4 lines, 14:08 average time on ice. Brandon Saad, who's been on the milk carton, 14:10. Even William Karlsson, Tony, is only averaging just over 15 minutes of ice time right now. So going to the top, Theodore, 24 minutes. Hannafin, 23:30.
Right.
McNabb, 21 minutes. And now Mitch Marner, 21:10. Eichel, 21 minutes. Stone was getting 18:24. There's no balance. They're not rolling 4 lines. And yes, your point in my ramble here was these minutes are going to accumulate. How about after the Olympics when the schedule is tighter than it is now?
Yeah, that's going to be tough because they go straight on the road there. I think they have 8 of something, whatever. Why won't VGK, in the absence of one William Karlsson? I saw some family pictures yesterday from the Wagyu, from the missus. Why won't VGK bring up a player or 2 from Henderson and give them a look? Jonas Ronbjörk, he can't hit the net. but he's not going to hurt you. He plays responsible hockey. Braden Bowman, 12 points and seven goals, 12 points, 7 goals in 12 games. And I wasn't sold on him, but give him a look-see. Why keep going to Holtz? Colton Sissons isn't getting it done. Raphael Lavoie is a player. I thought maybe he would get some solid minutes. And can they bring up Lucas Cormier or Dylan Coughlin to scratch Lausanne?
All those are in play, and there's roster requirements and waivers and all sorts of things that play into that. But really quick, the biggest issue with messing with the forwards is you're not putting these players on the fourth line trying to score goals. Now you need them on the second or the third line. You're talking a bigger domino effect than what VGK is already experiencing.
The injury bug has hit VGK hard, but is that an excuse other teams going through the same ordeal? We'll address it next right here on Locked On Golden Knights. The NBA is so back, and there's no better place to get into the action than at FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. And in addition to those NBA totals soaring, college basketball totals are also in the 150-ish range. It's crazy. Even if you missed the start of the game or you want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine all of your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. And it keeps every game exciting, especially when your team is making that late push. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head on over to FanDuel.com, sign up today, play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Welcome back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick reporting from Las Vegas. I know we were up against the clock there at the end of that last segment, but anything else to say? I know, yes, you have to be cap compliant, but why not bring up any of these players from Henderson?
It depends on what the scoring situation is. And like I said, I think it's more about the moving pieces, about waivers, and like Aiden Hill is still on the active roster. He's not been IR. I don't know how much roster space the Golden Knights even have at the moment. They got the cap space, but do they have the roster space? And at the moment, there's 13 forwards. Right now, it looks like they're maxed out, I think, if I'm looking at this really fast.
Let's talk about injuries. To date, VGK, Aiden Hill's missed 6 games, 10 for Noah Hannafin, 15 for Alex Pietrangelo. Yes, he is going to count on man games lost. Looked it up last night. 4 games missed for Brett Howden, 7 for Mark Stone to date, 2 for Colton Sissons, and 1 for the aforementioned William Karlsson. So far, think that adds up. You know, my math is horrific. 45 man games lost through 15 games. And if this continues, it's trending towards over 270, who knows, maybe close to 300. Nothing close to. I know you've been sort of comparing this season to the season in which VGK missed 500 plus man games. And I know that the injuries are still mounting, but other teams like Florida really going through it so far. And I looked up their numbers last night too. I had all sorts of time, sure. They've missed right now to date 60 man games. But the Golden Knights, yes. And you know what? If it's one of those injuries that's just officially day-to-day, not VGK day-to-day, and you miss a game or two, and like, you know, Sissons missing a couple of games and what have you, that's not going to hurt the team long-term. It is these long-term injuries. 10 games for Noah Hannafin and 15, as we know, Pietrangelo's done pretty much for his career, but it's these long-term. Mark Stone, 7, and we've seen, of course, what his impact being on LTIR has done to this team. But it's starting to mount, but it's not an excuse.
No, and it's a concern right now, and you know, you do wonder where Cassidy is in all this. We haven't mentioned, Cassidy's situation yet. Is that seat just starting to get a little warmer right now? Is it just a little? I think maybe it's in the back of his mind.
Pete
And
DeBoer's still out there.
hey, let's go. Let's
Bring him
friggin' go.
back.
That would be terrible. But it's, you wonder what needs to happen for this team to find their balance in the absence of Mark Stone. And yeah, I got the same numbers. I had 30-man games lost, and you had the 15 for Pietrangelo. So we agree. You went a long way, so we got there. So you wonder if this team can find its groove. Like the Golden Knights historically are used to playing large portions of the regular season without Mark Stone and getting through it, winning Pacific Division banners, and obviously raising a Stanley Cup without having Mark Stone for a large portion of a regular season in the 22-23 year. So the fact that they can't get it done, or at least, be a decent team in Mark Stone's absence, is a concern. And the fact that it's taken so long, and people on that post are saying, oh, it's going to take Mitch Marner time to gel with the team. BS. This is 16, 17 games in. He's
15.
A world-class player. That's not an excuse. That his time to gel happened in the preseason and the first few regular season games.
He's fine. He's gelling.
He's fine. No, that's my thing. He's fine. That's 100%. He's playing fine. People putting any of this on Marner is kind of funny right now. Like Marner, Eichel getting the job done. Everything behind them, Dorofeev is fine. Hurdle's fine. The defense has been okay, but they're not scoring. And how the injury bug plays all into this, it's not going to get better as the season progresses. It's definitely Aiden Hill. I'll bet sometime around the Olympics is when he makes it back, based on what Friedman said. And with Mark Stone's injury, we know it's a bone issue most likely. I think maybe mid-December is best case scenario.
It's kind of funny. I looked at Toronto, and they added Marner.
Always make you feel better when you look at Toronto. Always make you feel
better. They added Marner in man games lost. They added him because could this be the worst year for injuries? Who knows? But there is definitely depth. I've got to keep going back to that. There's depth in the minors, in the AHL, and VGK is going to have to rely. They have to rely sooner or later on the depth and the talent in the AHL. They have to.
The depth and the talent in the American League. There's some we haven't said, and that's a bingo card, a long shot right there.
Well, I mean, the other guys aren't getting it done. What are you going to do? You have to start. You have to send a message, and today we will hear the word funk. We will hear it, Bruce. I know you watch and listen to the show daily. Please, the secret word for the day is funk. Got to get out of this funk.
Is Cassie an everydayer, Tony? Is that what you're suggesting?
He's absolutely an everydayer. We see him checking in.
Let's go. I mean, listen, I get all this, and hopefully it gets better. Hopefully the depth gets going.
We appreciate you tuning in, especially our everydayers like Bruce Cassidy. Thank you so much for my man, Chris Golick. I am Tony Cardasco from Las Vegas. We'll see you again tomorrow right here on Locked On Golden Knights.